Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Art of Leading, Captivating Leadership Narratives, all part of the stuff that growth is made of. I'm excited to introduce you to Rob Costomiris. Rob is the president of My Ohm. Did I get that right?
Perfect.
Perfect. Hello, Rob, and welcome.
Thank
Um,
you very
w-
much.
would love to start our conversation, really just having you give an overview of My Ohm and what services you provide.
So we are a private equity firm that mainly our main business purchases distressed real estate across the country. We fix it up, we sell it off, and we do it through a combination of debt and equity. We also have commercial lending services, and then we also have we one of our services for the fix and flip is our exit strategy is a rent to own process. And what we do with the rent to own is we get individuals or families into our properties that don't have bank ready credit scores. We help them fix up. We personally don't do it. We refer them out to a credit specialist, helps them fix their credit. Once their credit is on its way to being amended, we'll send them out to a FHA, which is a first time home buyer mortgage specialist, and they will get them a mortgage. We will apply a portion of their rent to their mortgage so that they don't have to come out of pocket for that 3.5%, which is a little bit lower for first time home buyers, and we get them into a house. And I stress this one because although it's a small portion of the business, it does take up a lot of manpower to get it done in-house.
And where do you find your clients? How does someone find you, or where do you find them?
Our investors come through either a combination of our network, and I'm actually going through this now personally, is where I'm looking to hire more individuals to come in-house in the office, which apparently is something that is very rare for a lot of individuals I'm finding these days. We're
Mm,
what, 2, 3 years removed from COVID, and people still just don't want to come to the office. So I'm trying to find a team to come in. Where it's slowly coming. It's only been going on for a
yeah.
couple months now, but to cold call, utilize their network, and another thing that myself personally utilize is social media, just educating individuals and people alike to learn about the investing in real estate process, what it takes, what to look for, how to leverage it, how to pretty much do anything. I just put out an article today on LinkedIn for owner financing or seller financing, which a lot of people aren't familiar with. But it is a very good way to go about selling the property if the individual selling the property doesn't need the cash up front because a lot of tax benefits. So I try to put educational stuff out on social media, and that's one way I find a lot of investors as well.
Yeah, I love that. And what makes your business unique for an investor? Why would someone decide that they want to invest with you?
The low hanging fruit is that we pay a higher rate of return than a lot of other investment firms at 17.5%. But one of the main things that gets people is that we have a passive way for individuals, for even companies, institutions to get involved into investing in real estate. Another thing that I like to say that we're a little bit different is I try to keep them involved with the process as much as I can. So I'm emailing them what's going on with the property on a periodic basis. I say periodic because there's no way about it. They could be getting updates weekly, monthly. I try to keep it at a minimum monthly, but sometimes there's more than that.
Okay, good. Well, thank you for that. And in terms of your point with getting people in the office, I think there is a shift going on, at least based on the leaders I'm talking to. I think more people are looking to come into the office, maybe with a little bit more flexibility, but hopefully
Well, you know
you'll
what's funny?
benefit from some of those
You,
trends.
you know what's funny is I was speaking to an individual yesterday who's younger, 23 years old, and he couldn't be more excited to start coming to an office and start working in an office. Because if you think about a 23-year-old, I don't know if it was so much graduated high school or was around the time going into college around COVID. So he had a lot of remote learning and a remote interactions with individuals at a young age. And my daughter went through it too. She's only 15, but she went through it too. So he's very eager to come into the office.
Yeah.
Where at the same time, I'm speaking to another individual who's around my age, and I'm 48, and he has no interest in coming to an office. So it's funny how you meet people. So I'm trying to find the happy medium of getting people into the office, but also, giving them flexibility to work from home, which we do
Yeah,
offer flexibility. But I just really prefer to have people in the office to get the interaction, to the camaraderie, the hey,
yeah,
there's XYZ going on this week. I just feel it's just I grew up with it, and I just think it's such a benefit to be in front of people.
yeah, yeah. No, I hear you. And as I said, I talking to a lot of people, it sounds like, especially with flexibility built in, that it doesn't have to be every single day. It sounds like
Yeah, no.
a lot of that is moving that way.
Yeah.
Well, good. So, just changing topics a little bit, Rob, I'd love to have you share a little bit about your own leadership journey that's gotten you to your current role.
Yeah, I still think I'm learning that part of it, although I've been doing it for, I don't know, 18, 20 years or so.
Hey, I'm
Um,
older than you, and I still feel like I'm in my own growth journey.
right? Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
get it. Yeah,
My daughter said to me a few months ago, she's like, "Oh, I forgot what she said." And I said, "I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up." And she's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, I don't know if I've learned everything I needed to learn, or I am where I'm supposed to be. Who knows if they really, and listen, I'm happy where I am. I'm very happy doing what I do. It's just, you never know where life takes you. So, um,
yeah. Well, and I love that growth mindset, right? I mean, it's there's so much out there.
yeah, and
So
this is
love
coming
that.
from somebody who hated learning when he was in high school. So it's pretty funny that I'm out there trying to figure out who I am and learn everything that I possibly can as it comes to me at every second.
Yeah,
Yeah,
interesting.
my leadership. I like to say that I lead. I, I try to lead by assisting and being a partner with the people that I bring on, as opposed to, you know, telling people what to do and dictating what gets done and demanding. Well, a lot of what I do is 90% of what we do is sales. So there's goals and things that people have to hit, but my objective is solely to kind of work with you to teach you what our process is, to help you learn our process so you can get up and running as quickly as possible. And then whatever I need to do to help you get to where you need to be and hit your goals and do what it is. Because although it is all on them to hit their goals, I want them to know that I am there to kind of hold their hand the entire journey, if you will.
And Rob, when did you start managing people, or help set strategy and some of those leadership responsibilities?
So I started out my sales career in Wall Street, and then it was pretty quickly. I'm going to say 2004, 2005. My business partner and I just started hiring guys. We saw that some of the best teams had people working under them, and we just literally had no clue what we were doing. Like, we had no business hiring people, but we got people on our teams. We let them know that. We just said we're starting our career off too, and we want to help you get to where we are, and we want to see people grow from nothing into something and create a business. And throughout my career, I've always had teams and people working with me and whatever. And I think that's why I lead the way that I do, where I try to assist people as opposed to kind of lead from up above. And do you ever see there's I guess the meme or whatever, there's the leader that's behind them with the whip and he's whipping them, and then there's the leader that's in line and pulling the material with the team. And it's like, which leader are you? I'd like to think that I'm the leader that's right down in there with them, getting the hands dirty and doing what I have to do, because I'm doing
I
the same
haven't
thing
seen
that
that, but I could vividly imagine that. It's clear in
yeah,
terms of how you
because
describe it. Yeah,
at all times I'm doing the same thing they're doing. Maybe not on, as much as they're doing, but I'm cold calling, I'm speaking to clients, I'm doing exactly what they're doing. So I know what they're going
yeah,
through, and I want to help them, get through any bumps in the road that they may have.
yeah. That's great. Well, thank you for sharing that. So, if you were to go back in time, what advice would you give your younger self?
Uh, be more aggressive and take life more seriously. When I was in high school, and I only went to 1 year of college and I dropped out, and it wasn't until I started working that I really started focusing on what I wanted to do. So like through high school, and I see it now with my daughter. She's only 15, but she's already thinking about college, and she's concerned about her GPA and what that'll look like to college recruiters. She plays softball, and she's worried about, what does my softball career look like? What does my GPA look like? And trying to keep them all together. And she knows exactly what she wants to do, not work wise, but for college and stuff. So I wish I kind of took it more seriously than I did. And I wish I had the motivation that I have now back then. I did have that motivation for different things, but it wasn't in, myself. It was more about, trying to figure out who I was and what I was doing, and
Yeah.
that's about it.
It's so interesting. Everyone's journey is so different, and it
Yeah.
is finding what excites you. I think of as you're talking, I can definitely, uh, feel the same thing. I think about in high school. Well, we didn't have this kind of focus like my kids did, right? I mean, it
Right?
was totally different.
Yeah.
But I don't think I really got it until I started college. I didn't
Right.
take it seriously. I didn't want to do well. It just didn't click with me.
Yeah.
And then in college it did. So it is interesting, and it's interesting, just in terms of what's like our kids, it's kind of more front and center. So things have changed a lot, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's interesting. So, when you look at, some of the leadership roles you had, whether on Wall Street and things like that, what were some of the challenges that you faced, and how did you overcome them as a leader?
Still trying to overcome them, but it's trying to find a balance between, like what I said, trying to be there to assist them and also lead them at the same time. Like I'm not sitting there trying to be there friends with them, but I also don't want to be that leader that's sitting behind them with a whip, and just dictating exactly what they do, and go out to the field and do what you have to do. I don't want to be that leader. So it every single day to this day, it's I'm ripping my hair out trying to figure out how to. Listen, I'm not your friend, but I don't want to be, the guy that's dictating what you do.
Yeah. And how do you build trust and rapport with your team?
I don't even try that. It's just showing them that I'm doing exactly what they're doing, and I'm out there doing exactly what they're doing at the same time that they're doing it. I just
So
let
they feel
them.
like you're in it together.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's not even something that I try to question. Although it is something that's on my mind, but I don't ever try and create the trust. It's just there. Listen, I'm doing what I'm doing. If you don't see it, then that's on you.
Okay. Um, and so what would you say are some of the bigger challenges or opportunities that you're experiencing right now in your business?
Getting people into the office. That is a huge
Okay.
one. And it's been going on for some time. Whereas previous years I was okay with it. And again, I'm okay with remote work as long, we're in sales, so production speaks volumes over everything. But I think it's time that people come back to the office. And I'm not calling the remote people back to the office, but I want to have a team in office that I could see, touch, and feel, and kind
Hmm.
of be there with, and kind of just throw things at them as they come to me, as opposed to, putting an email together, beckoning everybody for a Zoom call or whatever the case may be. I can kind of be like, hey, this is what's going on. Look at this. This is what I just did. Can you take a look at it and, see if it works for you as well? So I think there's a lot to be said that's getting lost with the not working in the office. But I also see how huge it is to have flexibility with positions these days. And I'm open to both. I just want some people to come into the office on a consistent basis, which I'm having trouble with. Not trouble, but
Yeah.
I'll figure it out. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah. If I go back and I look in hindsight of my career, I wish I had a little bit more balance, and some
Yeah.
of that, you take away the commute and you can gain a lot of productivity. But, I love being, I made some of my best friends that, lifelong friends by being in the office and going through things together, sometimes doing all nighters or going out after for a drink or something. So, you know, trying to build in that flexible work environment, I think is really important. Both getting people in so they feel that camaraderie and they're building those relationships, but also being able to, have a little bit more balance too.
Plus, you're also
So,
put together. You're also. Oh, I'm sorry to cut you off, but
no, no, go ahead. No,
you're put
perfect.
together with people sometimes that you or I may not meet on the street or even think that we could be friends
Yeah.
associates, whatever with, and then you're like, oh wait, they are just like me. And you know,
Yeah.
I had this
Yeah.
vision of who my circle was, and you didn't fit it right off the
Yeah.
bat. But now that I'm working with you, I see you work just as hard as I do. And although your home life is different, or whatever the case may be,
Yeah.
somebody that you may not, and you're like, oh wow, yeah, this works. And I just think there's a camaraderie there with
Oh yeah.
when you're
No,
in the
we
trenches
had
with people.
absolutely. We have some really fun stories, lots of giggles, and again, lifelong relationships built along the way. And not that you can't do that via Zoom as well, but it's much easier when you're together.
Yeah, yeah.
So, changing topics a little bit, how do you measure success as a leader? How do you view success as you're president of this company? Well, what does success look like for you as a leader?
So there's two parts to that. One, success is obviously how the company's doing, how our projects are going, how many deals we get, how much money we raise. But then there's also, this is the one that's for me really, is how many people am I bringing in and how many are successful coming up and doing what we do. And I'm in sales, so it's kind of easy because your production is what speaks. But there's
Yep.
also a side, and what my business partner Mark doesn't really understand. He runs pretty much the entire business. I, run the deals and the capital raising. Um, is that progress, I think, speaks volumes over production. And what I mean by that is obviously you want your sales team to be productive and bring in, capital and bring in clients, make introductions on an everyday basis. However, there is an individual who may be a little bit slower to get started, but they're always progressing in their career. And although they may be slow to take off, once they do take off, those are usually the ones that'll, number one, stick with you the longest because you've assisted them the best way that you can and you push them to be the best version of themselves. Um, and they're usually the ones that, may not be the biggest producers, but they're very consistent. So there's, a couple sides
I
to
love that.
leadership.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that. So, Rob, I'm always interested to learn how leaders stay sharp. What are you reading or listening to right now?
I try to read sales books, psychology books, and then I'm always trying to sharpen my sword with leadership, but I've never found that leadership book for me that's really appealed to me. Although we are a private equity firm, we don't really have a corporate structure per se. So when I read a lot of the books, it's all for, big corporations and, processes and this and that. And it doesn't appeal to me. Although no matter what book I read, I try to pull something out of it. One book that I've always gone back to is Mind Power by John Kehoe. And
Hmm.
very strong book. And it's more about who you are and trying to figure out, how you become a bigger, better person. And it's all within your mind and you can control exactly what it is. And I've read that book, I don't know, 10, 12 times.
Oh, I've never heard of that. I'll have to put that on my list to look into. Thank you for
It's
sharing
not a
that.
very common book that's out there, but I don't know how it came to me early in my career and it's always appealed to me. And every time I read it, it's like, oh, wow, this does still appeal to me.
Yeah, but I love that when you can reread something and each time you get a
Something
little
different.
different nugget or
Yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Well, good. Well, I've really enjoyed speaking with you. In closing, would love to hear from your perspective. Are there some critical success factors or what I would say a secret sauce to being an effective leader today from your perspective?
I don't think there's a secret sauce, but I think it's just like I just said, keep sharpening your sword and keep progressing forward because the more you're learning yourself, the more everybody else is going to be learning from you.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. Well, thank you, Rob, for sharing your thoughtful insights around the art of leading. And thank you all for listening. This
Yeah,
is the stuff that growth is made of.